everyone, welcome back or welcome to my channel if you're new here. My name is Lamia and you've caught me on my 4th episode of my interning at the UN series. This video might be a bit niche because it really isn't all that common to be asked to do an edit test for a UN internship, but I'm really hoping that even if you're not doing an edit test specifically for the UN, I mean, who knows, you might even be doing an edit test for like The Economist or like Vogue. I really hope that this video will be helpful nonetheless. Without further ado, let's just hop into the video. Edit tests are usually take-home exams that employers give to applicants after an in-person or phone interview. How applicants perform on those edit tests often determines whether they land the job. Edit tests are predominantly writing tests with a twist. So towards the end of my interview, one of the panelists mentioned that they would be in touch a few days after my interview to deliver the edit test. And for sure, about 4 days after my interview, I received an email with an attachment, and the attachment was a document which basically had all of the instructions for the edit test and what I was expected to do. So I was left with 3 main instructions. The first was, please complete the edit test within 48 hours upon receipt. The second was, applicants found to be cutting and pasting answers or plagiarizing text will be disqualified from the entire selection process for the above position. And the third instruction was definitely my favorite. I was encouraged to be as creative as possible and really just to run amok with my creativity. The communications team will draft social media messages for insert name of UN agencies, senior leadership and social channels on relevant and timely, let's say climate change, news stories, report launches, etc. Review this week's climate change news and write 2 social media messages that can be shared on Twitter on the following. Firstly, a news story from a credible outlet. And secondly, new data or a report launch from a UN agency or reputable organization. And then for the second task, my instructions were to write a blurb summarizing each of the following reports, about 300 words or less, for insert name of UN agencies, climate change, teams, weekly news digest. So each of these reports were actually hyperlinked on the document, and as you can imagine, this task was by far the most time consuming. Each of these reports were on average 26 to 30 pages long of just jam-packed information. The first report was a lot more interesting to me, just given my passions. The second report was a lot more to do with something that I would like to stay away from career-wise, if I can help it. So the second report was a lot more dense for me to get through, and there was just so much information. And as you can imagine, summarizing 26 pages into 300 words is quite the task. That said, I still think it was definitely fair for an internship level. And then my favorite task was definitely task 3, just because I really ran amok with my creativity. I love having full creative control. That's why I love this YouTube channel so much. I can pretty much upload anything that I want to without having to run it through anybody else but me. Love that for me. Anyway, the instructions for task 3 were as follows. As part of the climate changes learning plan, you are working with the team on the launch of a webinar series focused on the following publication. Insert name of publication here. The webinar series will take place every first Tuesday over a 6-month period and will feature external keynote speakers from a wide range of backgrounds. Example, researchers, academics, development, humanitarian practitioners, and policymakers. The target audience for the series include insert name of UN agency here, stakeholders, and insert name of UN agency here, colleagues from country offices, regional hubs, and HQ teams who are working with the line ministries to implement climate change, COVID-19 recovery policies. Please complete the following tasks. Task 3.1, design a flyer for the launch of the webinar series. Task 3.2, adapt the flyer design to create a social media card with the same look and feel to promote the webinar series on insert name of UN agencies, social media platforms. And task 3.3, draft an announcement email to promote the series across insert name of UN agencies, internal distribution lists, and to encourage colleagues to register for the launch event. Please feel free to think out of the box, and you may consider presenting a potential lineup of speakers, crafting a title for the series, etc. Honestly, I was just so proud of my entire edit test, and every now and again I'll go back and look at the things that I created for this edit test, and it takes me back to those 48 hours of stress, but stress where you're happy. I really hope that you guys have enjoyed this video, and I'll see you on the next one.